The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Aina stepped forward, her boots clicking against the crystalline floor. Behind her, Neo stood at attention, his hand resting on something the assembled aliens had never seen before, a wooden contraption with a curved limb and taut string. "The treaty is clear," hissed the Zetharian representative, its scales shimmering with agitation. "No advanced weapons within the contested zone. Your species agreed to these terms." Aina smiled, the expression not quite reaching her eyes. "And we have honored every word of that treaty, Counselor. We bring no plasma rifles, no railguns, no directed energy weapons, nothing powered by electricity, fusion, or antimatter." The insectoid Vraxi ambassador clicked its mandibles in what might have been amusement or concern. "Then what do your soldiers carry?" "The disputed colony of Threshold Station must be garrisoned by both our forces during the peace talks. Surely you don't expect to defend yourselves unarmed." "Oh, we're not unarmed," Neo interjected, stepping forward with his longbow. "We simply went back to basics." The Galactic Council had thought themselves clever. When border disputes between humanity and the Zetharian Empire threatened to ignite into full-scale war, they'd proposed a compromise. Both sides would garrison Threshold Station, a strategic waypoint between their territories, but neither could bring advanced weapons. The definition had been precise: no weapons utilizing gunpowder, energy cells, or modern propulsion systems. The alien species, having evolved beyond such primitive means millennia ago, had little choice but to agree to blade-wielding honor guards. They assumed humans, barely 2 centuries into space travel, would be similarly handicapped. They had forgotten that humanity's climb to the stars had been long and bloody. Aina activated the holographic display, and the council members recoiled as medieval warfare sprang to life before them. "For most of our history, counselors, we were confined to one planet. We had thousands of years to perfect the art of killing each other with sticks, stones, and string." The footage showed human soldiers assembled on Threshold Station's main concourse. They wore modern armor that wasn't prohibited, but their weapons would have been familiar to warriors from Earth's Middle Ages. "The longbow," Aina gestured to Neo's weapon, "can punch through light armor at 200 meters. In skilled hands, an archer can loose 12 arrows per minute. Our English ancestors used them to devastating effect at Agincourt, where 6,000 archers stopped a French army 3 times their size." Neo demonstrated, drawing the weapon with practiced ease. The synthetic string hummed with tension. "Takes years to master, but we've had centuries to refine the training." "Primitive," scoffed the Zetharian. "Our ceremonial blades will cut through your wooden toys." "Perhaps," Aina conceded. "But can your blade masters cross 50 meters while under sustained fire? Let me show you what else we brought." The hologram shifted to show something that made several council members lean forward in confusion. A massive wooden frame stood in Threshold Station's cargo bay, a long arm suspended by twisted rope. "A trebuchet," Aina explained. "A siege weapon from the 13th century. It uses counterweights and leverage to hurl projectiles. No explosives, no propulsion systems, just gravity and physics. This one can throw a 90-kilogram projectile over 300 meters with enough force to breach reinforced doors." "In a space station?" The Vraxi's translator struggled with its tone of disbelief. "The treaty specifies no advanced weapons," Neo replied, his voice steady. "It says nothing about advanced tactics. Threshold Station has internal plazas large enough for artillery deployment. We've also brought crossbows, point-and-shoot weapons that require minimal training, and ballistae, glorified oversized crossbows that can pin armored targets to walls." The hologram continued its grim parade. Human soldiers demonstrated rapid-fire crossbow techniques, ranked pike formations, and portable Pavisi shields that could turn any corridor into a fortress. They showed ballistic gel tests, arrows punching through modern materials, trebuchet stones shattering structural supports. "This is barbarism." The Zetharian's voice rose. "The Council cannot allow what?" Aina's voice cut like a blade. "We are honoring the treaty to its letter. You wanted to handicap humanity's technological advantage. You forgot that we climbed to the stars on a mountain of primitive warfare spanning 10,000 years." She paused, letting that sink in. "Every species here transcended physical conflict millennia before achieving spaceflight. Your wars were brief. Your weapons quickly evolved to energy-based systems. You've forgotten what sustained, close-quarters combat truly means." Neo spoke up again, his tone almost gentle. "We haven't. We remember castles and sieges that lasted years. We remember armies clashing with edged weapons, where victory went to whoever could endure the longest. We remember because we had to. Our tribes and nations fought over every scrap of land, every resource, for thousands of generations before we finally united. The council chamber remained silent. On the holographic display, human soldiers continued their drills, organized, disciplined, deadly despite their ancient weapons. The treaty stands, Aina continued. We will garrison Threshold Station as agreed. Our troops will carry longbows, crossbows, pikes, and blades. We'll deploy trebuchets and ballistae at strategic choke points, all perfectly legal under the terms negotiated. She looked directly at the Zetherian ambassador. And if you want to test whether ceremonial blades are a match for weapons that conquered continents and toppled empires, we're happy to provide that education. The silence stretched. Finally, the council arbiter, a crystalline being who had mediated conflicts for 3 centuries, spoke. Perhaps the treaty's definition of advanced requires revision. Perhaps, Aina agreed, though her smile suggested she knew that ship had sailed. Or perhaps this will motivate all parties to negotiate in genuine good faith. After all, if we're reverting to medieval warfare, we should remember that medieval wars sometimes lasted 100 years. Neo shouldered his longbow. We're patient people, counselors. We waited 200,000 years to reach the stars. We can wait as long as needed here. As they left the council chamber, Aina allowed herself a genuine smile. Behind them, the alien representatives were already frantically communicating with their governments. The peace talks, she suspected, would conclude much more quickly now. After all, nobody wanted to learn firsthand why humans had spent millennia perfecting the art of war, before they'd even invented the radio. Sometimes the old ways were the best ways.